Booyah! And we are recording. So this is the very first episode, the flagship numero uno, the beginning. My first ever podcast episode with someone. It's not just my thoughts, but I'm talking to someone who is within the related industry or the topic that I want to discuss with people and share out there on the internet. And for this flagship episode, we are going to discuss the dark side of freelancing and working from home. Whether you are an aspiring virtual assistant, a freelancer who's starting out, or someone who just want to dip their toes in this line of work, working virtually for people, this subject that we are going to talk about, in my opinion, is probably something that is not frequently discussed among the community because usually people who teach how to get jobs online, how to be a freelancer, how to become a virtual assistant, they often show you the light side, or the positive side, and the pros and the glitz and the glamour of working basically from anywhere with an internet, earning honestly amounts of money that levels the playing field for between people who never finished school and people who have a degree or work as a professional, or own a local brick and mortar business. But they often do not show you the downside of this line of work, the hard work, grind and grit, the thousands of hours learning, the long hours of solving problems, sitting down in front of a computer, coming up with strategies, the mental, physical, emotional, and even psychological stress that comes with it. So if you can relate to that and you are interested in, listening or watching this episode, please do like, share, and subscribe.
Create, grind, and unwind. Hit that record button.
Today, I'm very, very excited to speak with one of the best, definitely the best one I personally know. Facebook ads marketing consultant in the Philippines, one of Mindanao's pioneering online freelancing coach and speakers, one of the most talented musicians from Northern Mindanao, and probably the youngest entrepreneurial genius I know that I consider.
Okay.
Ako ang my opinion.
Okay.
Fresh from his successful workshop yesterday, my friend, Mr. Rowil Ruelo. Bye. Musta? Di ka matunggan, oy. Nawala ka.
Nakamute ko.
Jokera. Apilon ta to ah. Anyways.
Sige. Okay na ni.
Yeah. Let's go, bye. Kamusta?
Okay lang.
How's life?
Okay lang.
How's,
Ano lang ko. Nakulbaan lang ko sa yung introduction.
Ako ganin, nakulbaan po ko kay first time na ako mag-interview, di ba? So,
di ba?
There you go. All right.
Dugay naman taga-plano. We have been doing this planning this, talking about it. Initial plan was do it in person. And then, sige ka move kaya mga schedule, mga anak. So, let's do it online.
Diba? I think it's the easiest way, mampod, di ba? And pinaka-masync sa atong life, actually. Medyo lisod mong good personal kay, di ba? Talatag equipment. Talatag, di ba? Dalo na to atong mic. Mag-inom. There you go. Which is why akong original plan actually. Like, mag-inom while ga. Pero basig. Di ba? Ang topic, di na makuha. Anyways.
record. Go.
So, for this episode, I wanted to talk to you about the dark side of online freelancing and working mostly from home, right?
Yes.
I would say me, probably 95% of the time I work from home, from my home office. So it's something that I've been doing for more than 12 years now. And so I wanted to talk to you about this because I think one of the few people who can really relate to what's it about, what this is about, the entire freelancing online working thing, and the downside, because we all see people trying to sell online freelancing or virtual assistant or working from home as something that's really glamoury or, all the glitz and glamour, 'di ba? Usually muna yung ilang ipakita sa ato
Tama.
or sa mga people who are starting out, but people really need to know the other side of the, 'di ba, spectrum, which is, all the things that we don't want to talk about. So,
Oh.
thus this first episode, right?
Very nice. Oo, sige.
'Di ba?
Should I respond or
Yeah,
ano?
sure, man.
Oh,
What do you think
well,
about that? Like,
I agree. In my personal experience, started freelancing. It was not because when I was a child, one day I wanted to be a freelancer. It wasn't like that. It was coming from a place of desperation. I know that the the common online freelancer is an outlier. Um, Misfits. I would say that most of us, not all, no, are misfits because we operate in a system in a country na um, it's very hard for you to find a job when you did not finish your education, like college, diba? So personally for me, it was coming from a place of desperation. I really need to find a line of work that pays well and does not look for things that I cannot provide, like a diploma. Diba? So that for me is one of the I would say it's a dark side. It's if you are sitting at the point of view of the common Filipino worker, it's because in the Philippines, sadly, it's still a measurement of one's substance. Part of that is your diploma. Talaga. But I found a path. A lot of us, you, me, I don't know if you finished your college or not, but
no,
in
no.
this field, it doesn't matter. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
yeah.
So that could look like a dark side for some people because they still think that it's part the diploma is still mandatory. It's good to have one. I would like to have one, but if I don't have one, it shouldn't stop me from
Yeah.
looking for clients, making money. So
True.
I think that's my first point.
True. I guess there's an advantage, or you can get good things from school, finishing
Yes,
school,
yes,
and you can
yes,
also get good things, right, from, being able to work without, finishing school.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So
I
that's
agree.
something that we really need to discuss as, freelancers, or, working
Yan.
as an
Oo.
online,
Empowering on my end. I
Mhm.
empower people when
Yep.
they talk to me. I don't hide the fact that
Mm.
I'm not proud for
Mhm.
not finishing college.
Mhm. Mhm.
Sayang siya actually for me, but
Mhm.
don't let that stop you
Mm.
from
True.
doing this. Yun yung parang core message ko. If there's a
Yeah.
takeaway from what I said, that's it.
Yeah. 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 Very good.
Mm.
Very nice. Very nice, bye. I love it. So let's go straight right ahead. Like, for the people who are watching this podcast and is a stranger of who Rowil Ruelo is, can you let us know, what you do, who you serve, when did you start your online career, what age, where
Right.
can our audience find you on the web?
Yan. Okay. So, um, when I when I started, I was a graphic designer. So Photoshop, no. So even during
Nice.
elementary days, I had a Photoshop CS2 on my desktop. Very old. It's a family computer. Actually, everybody uses it. And then, so yun, I found myself spending a lot of time, even more time than playing games. I spend it more on editing photos, yung tong the I would take pictures of my brothers and then I would edit it na wala silang ulo sa
Mm.
picture or pinapalaki ko yung ilong. Oo. So those were my that was fun for me. And then eventually my brother he graduated nursing and then he didn't work as a nurse. He started writing medical articles. So that was my first encounter of an online freelancer or a worker or a VA. So and then fast forward, so maraming events that happened in between. But basically, when I started, it was uh, I realized na, because my real job before was playing music in bars. And then if it was just me, if I was just paying for my own survival or living, that would be enough, and I'm still happy. That was my passion. But then I started a family. Um, I realized that it wasn't enough. No, so I had to look inside myself. What other skills do I have na pwede kong at that time it was to supplement, because I didn't want to stop playing music, but at the same time I was looking for a side hustle. So I went on to, makaka-relate ang mga listeners. I went to onlinejobs.ph. And then I found some clients
OG.
there. The OG, yeah. Oo, OG.
The
And then I found
OG.
some clients, and then eventually it reached to a point where I could, kasi playing in a bar, you work at night. When I get home, I have to work because yung clients are foreign, di ba? So I wasn't sleeping good enough na hours, and then it was affecting my relationship with my wife. So I decided na, okay, I'll stop doing music and do this thing full time. And
What
then
year
that's
was
when it
this?
started.
What year was this? Or
Was 7, 8 years
2007?
ago.
Okay. 2000. We're both
2015,
bad at
14.
math. All right.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, biggest fear is math.
2015.
2015.
2015. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's when I quit playing music for a
Was that
living.
before we met or after na?
After na actually,
After na
bro.
ba?
Yes, because that time when we met, I was into graphic designing, but I was not a marketer. I was not getting paid to do that at that time.
Okay.
So yeah,
Because when you
yun.
bursted, I remember when you bursted in the scene, I was like, whoa, where did this guy came from? Like, I was like, mo akong kuan ba, akong
Na-shock.
first reaction, because when we first met, we were just, di ba, common friends with,
Drinking
di ba,
buddies, yeah. Your girlfriend is
inom,
a friend of
ba, ano siya, what do you do? I don't remember you saying you were working already online.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
was already working online for like about, I don't know, maybe 5 years, six
Age
years.
reveal.
Age reveal. So, move ito ako giingon with nga, one of the youngest
Oh yeah, yeah.
entrepreneurial minds
Tell
I
me,
know. Because,
okay, okay.
how old are you? Like, you suddenly burst into the scene and then you started teaching people. And then I was like, holy shit. At the same time, I was
Ah,
like, maybe I'm a little slow when it comes to doing this. Like, parang dugay na ko gaingon sa imo, di ba? Na I wanna
mm,
do this, I wanna do what
yeah,
you're
yeah, yeah.
doing, and then blah blah blah.
Mhm.
So, anyways, it's a really good, di ba, background,
Oo.
lugar
That's
kibali.
a
So,
good story din if you want to parang patulan na to na topic na how I just suddenly, like a mushroom, I just appear on the scene, started teaching. The story about that is it reached up when I went back to CDO, kasi we lived in Surigao because my wife is from there. We lived there for 2 years after we got married. When I went back to CDO, I was already doing Facebook ads, web development. And then I wanted to offer it to local businesses in Cagayan. So I wanted to serve Cagayan de Oro businesses with my service, Facebook advertising. At that point, I I literally drove around Nazareth. Nazareth, it's a place in CDO. There are a lot of small businesses there. So I actually drive along those godforsaken streets, and then
maze.
yeah, the maze of Cagayan de Oro, and I knocked on business doors. I
Wow.
was bringing calling cards and asking them if we can like schedule a meeting para I could present my service and see if we can help you. Nobody got back to me from that. I did that for like what, a month. So then I just realized na, okay, if I can't monetize this city by offering my service direct, I'll just teach them how to do it. So that was the first unintentional na event that started my parang coaching, teaching.
Mm.
So, dun. And funny enough, when I started charging to teach it, group workshops, some of my clients were from those workshops.
Mm.
They joined, they signed up, and then eventually they became my clients. So medyo my flip ba na
Yeah.
if you're coming from a place of um I want to help you, I want to help you, I want to help you, but they don't really see the value, then it's very hard to close anyone. But the moment you charge them, I'm charging you to listen to me talk. Anyway, if they just, if they agreed to meet with me after I sent them the calling card,
Mm.
I would have taught them for free.
Mm. Mm.
But I put a price on it.
Mm.
Some reason na ay muraog positioning na nahitabo. And then
Ay.
they turned into clients, and from there it didn't stop. So it was a monthly thing, and then hanggang naging online na, and then yun, this is me right now.
Well, was this also the time when you were also serving clients from a different country?
Yes,
Maybe.
yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Actively.
Wow.
I was still working under an agency that time.
Mm.
But of course, as we know, for
Mm.
Filipino ano din dito,
Mm.
freelancers,
Mm.
they would say 8 hours of work, but if you really are good at what you do, you don't have to finish that. I mean, you can do 8 hours of work
Mm.
in just what, 3 hours, 4 hours.
Mm. Mm.
Hyper focus lang talaga,
Hyper
so you
focus.
can do other things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Nice.
Mm-mm.
So, yeah, before you I guess you've already answered this. But did you go, you went to college, right? So what was your
Yeah,
course? What was
yeah.
the course that you didn't finish? Right?
The course that I didn't finish is civil engineering in
Ooh.
Xavier University.
Ay.
Hanggang
Mm.
third year
Mm.
lang.
Mm. Mm.
It's just I don't know. But my passion has always been with the English subjects,
Mm.
literature, public
Mm.
speaking. Oh,
That explains a lot.
that's
That explains a lot.
that's where like I feel alive when I'm
Mm.
in those subjects.
Mm.
But I went with civil engineering because of course I was very young. I didn't know what to do, and my
Yeah.
father has a
Parents. Yeah.
construction business. Yeah,
Mm.
so I figured, okay, ako yung sasalo
Mm.
ng business, so I should be
Mm.
an engineer. But
Mm.
then it didn't end up well,
Mm.
so I stopped school.
Mm.
I
Mm.
dropped out.
Do you think like the, does your work right now still I guess employ some of the things that you've learned from taking is it civil engineering?
Yeah, civil
Yeah.
engineering. Yeah.
Like
Oh,
can you still
so
apply some of the things that you've learned back in school?
okay. I think
Mm.
the pinaka major thing that I
Mm.
really got from school, since I didn't finish it,
Mm.
the biggest takeaway was the relationships I built.
Mm. There you
So
go.
the referrals that I've
Mm.
got from classmates in
Mm.
subjects before,
Mm.
as before, sometimes you get mixed up with business
Mm.
courses na students in a
Mm.
specific subject, and then may recall na factor, and then they just refer people to me.
Mm.
So that's one of the biggest thing. But when it comes to the academe, of course, like creating the proposal, the planning,
Mm.
I actually look at my projects as if they were construction projects. Parang I sinisimulate ko na yung final product. So this is what we were gonna come up with. This is what you're paying for.
Mm.
And then that's how I convey. I even tell the clients, like, imagine we're building a house. So yun pa
Mm.
lang. Civil
Mm.
engineering,
Mm.
ano na
Oo nga, no?
talaga.
The analogies are still there ba? Yung mga
Yeah, it's still
analogies na
there.
gamit
Still
mo.
there. Oo.
Still, yeah. And what do you? I guess let's transition into
Sure.
the career that you have right now.
Mm.
What do you love most about your job now, and at the other side of the pond, what do you hate most about
Yan.
it? Ba?
Okay, so what I love most is the time freedom, and what I hate most is also the time freedom. It's a paradox
Mm.
of
Mm.
it's good to have time freedom. It's because you're in control of
Yeah.
when you want to work, as
Yeah.
long as you bring out the output that you promised. That's fine. the thing is, your biggest enemy is also that
Yourself,
freedom,
which is,
because Dota is one download away. Your kids are always looking forward to play with you. Siyempre. So that's the paradox of working from home, especially because like you, I work from a home office. I before this podcast, I went to my children because I have two kids and told them, don't knock on my office for 2 hours because I'm going to be on a meeting. So the yun yung biggest problem for me when it comes to working online, to
same,
freelancing.
same. Like
Diba?
right now, my kids are sleeping, so as soon as they wake up, I don't know what's gonna happen. And then of course, it's always been my weakness, trying to organize your day. Like that's one of my weaknesses. Like I'm so, like, my brain is so wired differently compared to people who have had, you know, breakfast at 8 a.m., you know,
Yan.
all the
Yes,
usual schedule
I
of a
agree.
normal human being.
It's
Even
hard.
back when I was a kid, like I hated, not hated, but I was really um not into waking up early. Like that's
Yeah.
my biggest, maybe I'm not sure if the background of the environment that I'm living in as a kid had an effect on it. I'm sure it
Yeah.
had, but
Yeah.
I've accepted the fact. Although
Yeah.
sometimes, I try to break out of the what I usually do, or what my, you know I try to challenge
Yeah.
myself, diba? Which is
Yan. I
something
agree.
that we probably should all do,
Mm.
because our work is mentally draining already.
Yeah.
Like,
It
if
is.
di ba, para mura bitaw, ginatry nimo og organize tanan imong work for your client, but you
Mm.
end up messing your life or your schedule yourself, di ba? Especially sa akong case, which is all my clients are from 95-94% are from the US,
Different time
Canada.
zone.
So yung time, kahit na bisan pag, they ask me na, let's just schedule. A funny story.
Okay,
My
go.
my last client, my latest client, from New York, 70 years
Mm.
old, runs
Mm.
a wellness company, wellness coaching.
Mm.
Right? And then at first he wanted me to attend meetings every day, and he would speak for 2 hours, man.
Oh.
9:30 to 11:30 in the evening.
Oh my
He was speaking. I was like, this is getting really tiring. And I told him, this is not gonna work for me. Can we do something like uh all of the team are feeling it, like, but no
Yeah.
one is, di ba?
Say it.
No one is
The
saying
boss.
anything. So I was like, can we dial it down a bit, like, because everyone is getting stressed by so he
Yeah.
was like, oh, okay. And then he ended the meeting and then called me again, and he was like, I understand you. I love people with backbone. Well, mga ingana nga
Nice.
settings ba? He
Nice.
understood. So it ended up like the usual meeting now is now, although it's still every day,
Yeah.
but I told him na, if I cannot make it Tuesday and Thursday,
Mm.
I will tell you,
Mm.
because there are some
Nice.
things that I need, because of the work that I'm doing for you. He hired me for web design, web development. Now I'm doing almost, the entire thing, the entire, like, trying to come up with copy. Yung mga nga na ba?
Oh
Trying
yeah.
to trying to think
Oh.
about how we do Facebook ads, because no one
Oh.
on the team knows how to do it. That's why I
Okay.
attended your workshop.
Yeah.
Di ba?
Sige.
That's why
Sige.
I
Nice.
attended your
Nice.
workshop, because I wanted to know how to do this,
Yeah.
and I, di ba? Anyways,
Mm.
let's get back to the,
That's the story that you were talking about. It's very common, and
mm,
ang naka-nice lang sa ibuhang what you did was is something na as Filipinos,
mm,
we are very non-confrontational.
kayo.
Atong habit is that we just nod and say yes. Pero after the meeting, or like when we talk to our friends and family,
Ah,
negative na kaya to
mm,
ang outlook sa
mm,
atong clients, sa work
mm,
setup. And
mm,
that's one of the habits or the attitude that we freelancers or VAs or whatever, if you work for someone, especially that lives in a Western country, you have to be assertive,
mm,
courteously assertive.
mm,
You have
mm,
to communicate
mm,
how you feel,
mm,
because it's a culture thing.
mm,
It's a cultural disconnect where they
mm,
speak their mind,
mm,
and for us, we are used to pag boss gani, don't argue, just
mm, mm,
listen and
mm.
do it.
Say
But
yes. Be a
you have
yes
to
man.
break. Oh yes, man. You have to break that belief,
Mm,
because just imagine that's just one client. If you're managing multiple clients and all of your clients the same approach ka of like
mm,
just nod and say yes,
mm,
good luck getting sleep. No, that's the so that's something that you have to break. And
mm,
it's scary. Your lizard brain, your natural survival brain will tell you na don't do it, you might get fired, you might lose
mm,
the project. But actually no, you have to communicate. And then you would just realize parang murag magic lagi. Okay
mm,
raman di ay, okay
mm,
raman di ay, di ba?
mm,
Like you
mm,
realize
mm,
na
mm,
okay, he even appreciate, and that
mm,
positions you as someone who values your time,
mm,
because
mm.
don't need to talk for 2 hours. Just tell
Yeah,
me
yeah.
what we did before, what we do today, and what we will
Yes,
do next. Let's
yes,
move on and do the job.
yeah,
Do the job.
yeah.
Diba?
And
Uh,
in return, I reciprocated by trying to telling him thank you for that, and then I really need to also work on my voice modulation and my patience. Because he's 70
then,
years old, man.
then you also
I don't
you
want to be
sounded.
the cause,
Did you
bro.
sound pissed when you
A
told him that?
little bit, like
Yes.
I was probably a little, I was getting tired. I was tired of listening to him,
Yeah, valid concern.
repeating over and over what he's trying to say, and nobody's talking about it. Like even his employee who's in New York, who's a Hispanic lady, is not
Yeah,
saying anything. I was like, oh, man,
it's a
how am I
cultural
gonna
thing.
do this? So that was a really good lesson for me as well.
Nice,
like
nice.
I've done it before, but I've done it in a way that's you know really damaging for me.
Yes.
Like I lost clients because of that.
Uh-huh.
uh,
But
I,
anger issues.
yeah, yeah, there you go, because like the most, like, one of the people who really gave me a chance to become a freelancer.
Mm,
He became a friend of mine, but when um his company started to grow,
mm.
and he started hiring project managers, and I wasn't talking to him as regular as
Directly,
before.
yeah. Mm-mm.
I started getting pissed because the project manager wasn't a designer. He
Yeah.
wasn't a web developer, and I
Yeah, yeah.
wanted to say na kanang, um if we're doing revisions,
Mm.
like, can we have the client run through everything that I just did and then tell me what's wrong
Yes.
with it, rather than,
In one
yeah,
response, like
yeah,
list down all the things I need to
yeah, yeah,
change.
yeah, yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then I don't know. Anyways, that was in the past. Like, as long as you're, yeah, trying to grow, trying to learn things, then
Yeah.
it's okay.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, pero that's something that if you're starting out in
Mm,
freelancing, you
mm.
should expect that. That will
Yeah,
happen.
yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
parang ano na lang ni siya, muraog, well, ano ba? A preview of the future.
Mm. All right. So
Sige.
I think we're running out of time now.
Oh,
I'll just call you if
part
eh,
2.
if must stop ni. I can call you
Sige,
again,
go. Yeah,
right?
we'll just continue.
Because
Sige
you have,
lang.
yeah. All right. And
Sige.
then I guess what's the next thing that I would like to ask you? Like, if you were to start all over again,
Mm,
knowing the things you know now, like
mm,
what you have, experienced, all the
mm,
knowledge that you have accumulated,
mm,
what would you change and do right on the first day of working for a client?
mm. I had to do it. Oh, that's a hard question.
Right? Like what's the
Yeah.
what would
Okay.
you change in your process, or what would you
Mm,
change in the way you work with the client, you know
yeah. So,
knowing what you know
sige,
now?
yan eh. What I would change is because before I would just accept all projects coming my way. I would change, like I will add more filters,
Mm,
do more due diligence, I would be more willing to talk to the client first, because I seriously want to know what the problem is and if I can help them. Because sometimes, especially when I was starting out, the motivation is just to close the client and get paid. And then I realized, this problem is, it involves more than the skill that I offer, like Facebook ads. Pero the main problem is the product, or the main problem is the landing page. And the thing about that is you already gave a guarantee. I already gave a guarantee that I will help you improve your results. So in that path, I will have to fill up those positions because without solving the problems, before Facebook ads, the blame will be on me. So I would be more like, I would identify. So instead of just offering Facebook ads, so that I know na dili lang Facebook ads or media buying ang akong offer ani. There will be other services involved. Just take time to get to know the problem of the client. So yun yung first nga is that really don't be afraid to talk to the client and ask them about their problem, because it will backfire if wala bitaw nimo na open tanan sa sulod sa iyahang chest na like, okay, surface lang imong gitan-aw and you just saw the money and you went in, but you have to really dig deep. They will also appreciate that. Marag consult na gyapon sa ila. So mo to akong pinaka main is that dili kayo priority, money is still a priority that the project gives you, but also add some filters na really identify the services that this client needs. Okay, maybe it's more, you're biting more than you can chew. So I've been in that situation a lot of times before. So yun lang. Pero
Me too. Yeah.
Very strong advice gina siya, like with passion.
I guess that's something that we have to realize also really early. Na especially when it comes to digital marketing, like you feel like you can offer everything under the sun. Wow. Like that's really hard to do. That's why they try to teach you, at least all the coaches teach you that you need to niche down, or you have to,
but at least
specialize.
manage nimo. Yeah.
Although from time to time I still get kanang ma-tempt yapong kabay ba,
overreach nimo.
syempre, especially if the client doesn't know anything about digital marketing at all, like zero. So any help that you would do is valuable to them.
Coming from a place of generosity, by the way, not to scam them or anything. It's generosity.
There you
Good
go.
intention. But then 2 months later, medyo burnout.
Burnout. So diyan na mo gawas ang mga collaboration, diba? You try to try to ask help from other providers who's more, diba? Mo man atong kabuhaton po, diba? Mo man atong kabuhaton. If medyo complicated na ang web design, diba? Medyo complicated na gid ang need niya sa Facebook ads and wala gi returns, wala gi results. Diba? You be honest about it then.
Yes.
Ngani, hanggang dyan lang yung kaya kong gawin. And if you wanna do it, then let's do it. I'll help you. Diba? So when you were starting out as a freelancer, did you have mentors? Did you have did you sign up for freelancing courses, or did you follow people who are more, I guess, seen by seniority,
yes,
more advanced?
Of course. I have a list of people that I follow even up until now. So gusto mag name drop?
Sure. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Because of course, if they help me, I know they can help you. So the first one is the more personal. The first one who really taught me is the agency owner that I worked with na taga Australia. Siya talaga, because he was a fan of documentation. So everything that he did, he recorded it. And then one of my tasks was to turn it into a step-by-step na. So gumawa kami ng internal wiki for our agency processes. So that, of course, for me, I was just blindly going through the motions of documenting. Pero unconsciously, I was already absorbing all the lessons. So ang main namin doon is lead generation using Facebook ads. So that was my first thing that I really dive deep, and also it came from someone else. And then so yun, I worked for him for what 2 years, and then he was the last client, the last full-time client that I had. So siya talaga yung nag-spark na okay, gonna do this on my own. And then other people that I follow in the Philippines, there are the first person that I really looked up to was Julian Canita. He was one of the first coaches in Facebook ads, and there's a similarity then of our approach. It's because we, as much as possible, we want to be ethical with what we do. So I really follow him, and medyo ano lang, if newbie ka, totally newbie, and you're unwilling, yung parang na-intimidate ka with jargons. Kasi di man na malikayan good, labo na kung mo imong kinaon, you're the expert, and mo imong kinaon, it's very hard to translate it into basic words. But I just followed Julian Canita before, and then I learned. And so overall, online marketing na gina-follow na ako. I've tried everyone before na listen to them and consume their content, but what really stuck with me after all these years is si Frank Kern. So Frank Kern has always been, in fact, when I create landing pages, I have a copy of his landing page before. Mo gina akong first iteration. That will always be my first version of any landing page I create, because I just really look up to the guy. He taught me how to know, like, and trust. Yeah. And then how to give offers without sounding sleazy, because you are not sleazy. So because a lot of coaches will have meron silang template, and they will show you, do this, do this, do this, even if it's not you, even if it's not your voice, you just do this because it works. No, but what I learned from Frank Kern is he was able to mix his personality with his offers, and that's what I really love. So Frank Kern for international, Julian Canita locally, and other coaches then. But Julian was the first that I looked up to, and then my boss from my last agency na I worked under.
Same.
So yun.
I have the same experience almost. Because most of the clients that I've worked with when I was starting as a freelancer, mga white label web design agencies. Yeah, so those were my majority of my clients when I was starting out as a freelancer. And the everything was given to you when you are working for agencies or working with them since white label. Everything is given sa ako, tanan assets, like from photos, from everything I need. Kailangan ko na lang i-construct yung website in a way.
Put together, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
As a WordPress using DV element or whatever.
Yes.
And because of that, I got really comfortable with my skills. Like,
yeah.
Because almost sa akong mga work, even without wireframe, without design, accepted diretso. Like, gamay na lang revision.
Yes. And copy revision na lang.
Ulahin ako na tunan ba nga building beautiful and websites, building good UX UI interface is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to building a website. There's copywriting, there's diba, trying to target the right audience.
Yes.
Trying to I guess give your clients returns in their investment, diba? Like, what's the main
when
point?
You started, your main goal was just to create beautiful websites. Parang the sales aspect of it was the least of your
worries, because I don't know. Bahala na kayo dyan kung di ba? Bahala na kayo.
Basta it looks good.
Oh yeah, it works on every device that you can use it on. Di ba? It's relatively fast. And even that I learned, like, medyo ulahin na. Like when I was probably 4 or 5 years ago. Ayan na ako na realize na, because I dove into SEO, I tried to, di ba? Okay, syempre, people who have slower internet, although speed is relative, di ba? Like, what Einstein said, it's applicable with websites. Diba?
Yeah,
Diba?
it's true.
Because if the internet connection of your market is
It's
fast
slow.
compared
Yeah.
to, then
No
the
matter how
people,
slow your website is, it will load.
di ba? Di ba?
Pero
But at the same
go to
time,
the
depende po sa ilahang patience. Di ba?
Yeah.
So, you have to do some things to at least negate the, di ba,
I
downside na
agree.
ma-bounce out sila. Di ba? Bounce
Yes,
out sila
yes.
sa website. So, those are things na I really, like, it was a little bit later in my career na I tried to learn. So, when I started listening to your content, to the
Char.
content of, siyempre, listen po. Mas
Yes,
comfortable
yes,
ko
yes.
mag-listen sa content sa akong kaila kaysa sa ako kaila. Because I'd be,
Okay.
di ba? I'd be
You'll
less,
be questioning.
di ba?
Parang,
Parang
legit.
nga na ba?
Yeah.
Legit niya.
Okay.
Siyempre, kaila ko, naragod na rin. Di ba? Kung
Yeah, yeah.
mamakak siya, basi madaot yung name dali sa
Tulfo.
mo. Di ba? Di ba?
Yeah,
Ano ba?
yeah, yeah.
Di ba? So, I
Yes,
started
bro.
listening to, di ba, yung mga OG
Mm.
dito sa Pilipinas, sila John Pagulayan, di ba? Although I do not agree with everything that he's saying or what he's doing, but he's really successful in terms of, di ba, teaching people how to
Yeah.
be successful in our
Yes.
realm of work. And then there's when I saw Demi Bernice come out,
Yes.
I was like,
Mm.
at first, like, I was really critical. That's me. Like
Yes, we should.
that's how my brain works. Like I'm critical about people who are younger than I am, like younger than I am, and just starting out. I know, where did this guy came from again? Like, di ba? Parang yung ano ba?
Yeah.
Di ba? So
True, true, true.
at first, but although I was really impressed with how she spoke English, kay
Yeah.
mura siya,
Taga
ano ba,
Cebu mo na siya, no?
mura siya
Cebu.
taga-Amerika nga, kanang African American na or Black American na accent ba.
Yeah.
Asa ba sa gikan niya? Ubay mo kayo gusto niya English, pero at first, because she was still offering web design back then, I was really critical about that. Like when I
Okay,
saw
that's
her,
your zone of
yeah,
genius. No?
when I saw her work about web design, I was like, ano ba? As a graphic designer, medyo okay siya. Like, she can do books, covers, whatever, diba?
Yeah,
Mga
yeah.
ganyan. Like, arte siya, creative siya. She's
Okay.
creative. Yeah. But when it was the websites that she was building, I was like, medyo, And then she started teaching people, and then I saw her content na grabe ka genuine, because
Yes.
and she knows how to teach. Like,
Yeah.
she takes an advanced concept, makes it into something that's really digestible even for the beginners, and that's what teachers do. That's what I think
Yeah.
is what teachers do, and she's a teacher by profession before that. So yeah, di ako pa na, di ba yan, oy? Magana ba? So medyo
Listen,
next
kinabay. You know, we deal with a lot of kanang masters in their own fields. Pero that doesn't mean if they teach, it's gonna be effective. They're really good at what they do because teaching is a different skill, and that's what I try to practice. Na doesn't matter if my output is great, but if I can't get the people listening to me to understand what I'm trying to say, then I'm not doing a good job. No matter how good the campaigns are, the examples are, if when they leave the room, mas na-confuse sila kaysa na-clarity. And then that's one of the things that I always think about when, kasi right now I'm teaching. So but yeah, it's fun to know pod ba na ang imuhang first contact, first encounter with Bernice, right? Yeah, was negative ba? But
almost
because of
almost
like,
medyo
yeah, because I
critical.
have the same experience. Like, one person joined one of my workshops from years back. His first impression of me was I was pretentious. So very negative, man. And nice ba is that because of marketing, and we can shift that, try to get to people to see who we really are. Na aspect na, which is kanang nice kasi for me. It's a good plot twist.
Yeah, and she's like the first online course creator that I've ever enrolled to. Enrolled in.
Nice.
Like although I did not finish again.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
gid
see
ko
a
ba
pattern.
gid
Pareha
na ako
tayo.
mahuman gid ba like as in kanang labi na kanang nanay point nga kanang murag kapoy naman. I think I've gotten the
What
gist
I
of
need.
what she is trying to teach people.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I guess, although I really wanted to finish the course and, meet her personally and then,
Mm.
have those certificates, but with everything that's going on here, I
Yes.
don't think I could
Yeah,
pursue that. Maybe in the
yeah.
future, maybe,
It's fine, it's fine. Pero I saw one of her emails na she's
uh,
doing live meetups. So, basta in one of these days, uban ko, let's go there.
oh, why not? Why not?
Diba?
Napa sila yung mga
Diba?
kape nga business ba? Napa sila yung coffee business actually.
Nice, nice
Sayang
guy.
bana. Ya, musician gyapon to yung bana ba? Magkasinabot kay mo adto siguro ba? Power pug kay to siya ba?
Nice, nice.
Anyways, let's go back to our
Let's go back.
medyo nalingaw na ta, medyo
On
na
a
sidetrack.
personal chika na,
Oh, na
nakuha
sidetrack
na.
na ta. Oh. Anyways, that was still, okay pagyapon.
Yeah, sige, sige.
I
Sige.
think. So,
Okay.
there you go. As a parent of two beautiful kids, what are the hurdles and woes you experience specifically as someone who mostly works from home? Like, diba? Like, aside from them knocking on your door when,
Yeah. You when you work from home kasi you different imong perception of time because we need to have a comparison. So we compare work from home from working at an office or 9 to 5. There's a switch. When you are a 9 to 5, before 9, you are not working. So you get to do things. 5, when you get home, you don't need to work. So that's your routine. When you work from home, it's a mixed schedule. Diba? So one day you can just wake up and work for 4 hours. And then one day you need to work for 10 hours because you're crunching for a deadline because yesterday you only worked for 4 hours. So the kids will, this is what I noticed from my kids. When I started, they kept knocking on my door. And then now I realized that in their mind, whenever I'm inside the office, I cannot be disturbed. So there's like a wall that is built to, and then a perception ba na if my dad is in the office, in his office, he can't do dad duties right now. So muna siya ang hurdles gyud nako na lisod because if it were up to me, because I have a deadline, I would finish it. But then mulabay ang adlaw na wala mi nagbond sa children. So muna siya ang biggest sa ako nga hurdle good when it comes to working from home. Okay. Lisod it goes back to the same problem that we have with time. Itong first question bitaw nga what we talked about na kanang ang management sa time gid. Gina ang kontra. Yeah. Even with the alarms, the deadline man good, na deadline ba. Then sometimes mahabit pud nimo siya like like you've been trying to crunch for a deadline for a week. Maski human na ang deadline by pagka next week, may muna na imong pacing sa imong trabaho na dayon, and then di ka kabantay nga murag wa na din may storya sa imong asawa, that type of thing ba. And yan, that's the main thing for me.
Same, the
consciousness
same.
with them.
I have the same problem ba. Isud kayo kay ingana ba nga usahay di ni mo sila makauban nga tibok adlaw bantay ba nga hapon na day aya din pag dinner aya na din nimo sila mastorya, aya na nimo sila kay focus kay kasi mga batan, or I guess sometimes I'm just trying to escape. Diba? Like I'm trying to escape the stress of being a parent.
Yeah. That's why you bury yourself in work.
Yeah.
I also relate that.
Diba?
If my wife is watching this,
muna tong
I'm
reasons.
sorry.
Right?
I'm
diba?
sorry. Okay, there's an easy excuse for us to not be there. Because we're in the office. Wala, gaduta ra di ito.
Ano? Gatanong ra YouTube, gagitar-gitar di ay. Diba?
Oo. Yeah.
Diba?
Siya ang Pero it's more of like a personal discipline that you have to do. There are people who are really good at that.
Yeah.
Ang isa lang gid sa akong na-learn karon ba is that because I have to talk about this. Kay medyo recent din ako siya nga gakapansin nga. People they enjoy selling the idea that if you're a freelancer, you can work from anywhere. But for me, I don't want to work from anywhere. If I'm at the beach, I will swim. I will not open my laptop. Oo, di ba? So, but again, it's based on different people. But for personally, that angle in freelancing na work from anywhere, kahit nasa Boracay ka, you're enjoying the beach, you're still opening your laptop. For me, I don't enjoy that because if I did my work well, then when I go on vacation, I will not work. Siguro check my messenger, but I will not open, the website, go to WordPress admin or go to Facebook dashboard. That's something that I preferably.
Same. If naka sa vacation mode.
Vacation mode. I nag-work from anywhere.
Tama. Which is a struggle also, especially sa mga tao yata sa Amerika, mas struggle na sa ilaha. Di ba? Kita na to nga nagbanding sa pero na laptop, di ba? Na iPad,
AirPods.
Diba? Ano ba? So,
something lang na mo raw.
So as a freelancer, like what's the worst thing that's ever happened to you, like, or in your career, or like what's the worst thing? Like
ako
that you can share.
That I can share, of course.
That you can share.
That I can share. Sige. What I can share is that there was this one time na nag-onboard ko client. Tapos ang ilang business model was not it was working against the policy of Facebook. Okay unta to siya, but the thing is muraog gakinawatay sila og ads sa iyang competitors ba, so like we create an ad, they copy our ads, and then what happened was na disable ang iyang ad accounts and the ad accounts of ang akong ad accounts po, my ad accounts that I use, and some of the ad accounts of my clients because of that. Una ang pinaka-worst na like which goes back to really the big advice that I was giving earlier na to really screen, not chase the money, because that setup was really profitable for me, but naa siya trade-off, which is if we're allowed to disclose numbers, I was making an extra 100,000 a month from commissions from that deal. 100,000 pesos a month. But ang kuan is na damay sa violation ng kung uban client na accounts. My account, in fact, the Facebook account that I'm using right now can no longer run ads. I have to use a different account na makoy backup. So, but that's the worst thing that could happen, and it could have been stopped if I was really strong enough to resist, focusing on the money and really filter the people that I work with. Kung
which is need yun na to as a freelancer pod nga naagit tay questionnaire na masaligan na daw muna imong pasabot as a filter, like, right, one of the filters,
like na kay rubric ba na like how long have they been running their business, how much money do they make, how much do they expect to make when they hire you, because of course they look at you with a number on your head. I pay this guy $1,000, how much return will he give me in 2 months, 3 months, 1 year? So
which is the parang pinaka sa marketing side sa, di ba, sa atong
pinaka risky actually. Risky nga part is that in marketing, advertising, there's no guarantee. The only guarantee you can give is you will do your best. That's the bare minimum guarantee that you can give. But to say that I guarantee that in a month you're gonna make millions of dollars, oh no, run away.
Which is sa atong work pod, there's a balance between marketing and then design, creativity.
Yes.
Murag na siya sa, if masakto nimo og balance ang both, that's where the magic happens.
Yeah. I was looking at this guy na he was teaching how to sell ugly ads. But the ugly ads that he was making, planado. it was meant to look ugly. So there is still design. It was designed to look ugly. So di lang siya nga, okay, ugly ads means man ako'y buhaton. Managay mo kay buhaton. But, so, design and marketing, di pwede bulag ba? Pwede bulag.
Ba? Right. Nice. That was the next one. Like, what advice? I guess you have already said your advice, but let's say, I guess this question is a little different. What advice would you give someone who is starting out, trying to land a job online, shifting from corporate work to, virtual work, and that you would also what advice you would give someone who is transitioning from full-time virtual assistant to an online freelance service provider,
Nice.
diba?
So, okay, advice. Advice would be, if your priority should always be cash flow, no? Especially when you're starting. So, it's a bad idea to quit an existing job. Don't quit an existing job. You in marketing, we have this thing called a split test. Split test muna tayo, no? So the variable is the work. But we always measure it via the bottom line or the revenue. So split test, your control your control variable is your existing job. So this is how much you spend in that job and this is how much you make. Now you create a split test, you create a side hustle, you start applying for online work. So and then see if you get hired, because the worst thing that could happen to you is you quit your job thinking that in a week you get hired. That can happen, but what if it doesn't? What if it doesn't? That's the question. So I have some personal experience with this, because the last agency that I was working for, I was hired by them, but I was also reaching out to other clients. The only time I decided it was time to stop working under that agency was when I was able to double my income. Meaning, yung money that I was getting paid for this agency job was half already of my total income from the other things that I was doing. So yun yung sign for me na okay, it's time to go for this one kasi it's profitable. So, and then the follow-up question was, from working virtually as a VA, a virtual VA, full-time to freelance provider. Freelancer. You have to change the way you see it, because you are no longer a worker, you are the boss now. No, so a biggest advice is to look at what your boss is doing. You just have to, because you okay, so medyo may angle din na kailangan i-twist, because you look at what your boss is doing and what you wish he was doing. Because when some people, they quit because they don't like what the boss is doing, but the boss, his business has been running for years and he's doing something right. You cannot discredit him from that. So you just follow what the process is, ano yung ginagawa niya, and then again, split test it. Try to, while you're on your full time, as long as kaya ng time mo, then try to close direct clients. Send out emails. Again, look at what your boss is doing. Is he doing paid ads for that? Is he doing cold email outreach for that? Is he doing posting on listings? So yun lang, actually yung resources that you need to learn from, it's very close to you. Just look at your boss, and then copy and improve. And then, but ang main dito is you lower the risk by not getting rid of a income source yet. Eventually you will, don't worry. But for now, secure the cash flow. And then pag okay na, then can move on. Yeah. Practical, no?
Practical, very practical approach. I think my thoughts would, for people who are trying to land a job virtually and trying to transition from working in an office, that's one of the factors or variables that's very important to consider, diba? your income. I have had a couple of people asking me over the years, how do you, how do you apply for an online job? This is my, this is my skills, this is my work, this is my current work right now. I always say to them, um, uh, look at your current
Mm.
strengths, and be should I say transparent enough when you apply for an online work that you don't know this,
Mm.
diba? Because sometimes employers tend to think that the people they want to hire knows everything, diba? But realistically, um these employers are looking for someone who has a specific skill that they need, that they can put inside their team and make basically the team work as a machine, diba? More consistent, more, lesser diba? Lesser, should I say, expenses, and
Yeah.
improve the profits.
Mm.
And I always say to them na if you, let's say you're working in a bank, like what do you do for the bank, diba? What do you do for the bank that you can offer to the person who wants to hire someone who has a banking um, background, or and try to also target those businesses who are related to that type of work that you already have experience with, diba? Uh, and then just try to learn things from people who have been doing it,
Yeah.
for a very long time. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Try to just explore, diba?
Yeah.
Explore,
Yeah.
and everything else is rudimentary, kung baga,
Yeah.
elementary na lang.
Mm. Mm.
Fundamentals, like
Fundamentals.
people
Yeah.
who are trying to teach you how to optimize your profile,
Mm.
giving you templates, right? Giving you templates as a starting point, diba?
Yeah.
Those are good to have.
Mm.
But if you really want to, you know, to 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 understand the people who are hiring from English speaking countries, then
Mm.
you should be conversational. Try
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
improve
Oh,
your English communication skills,
yeah.
because as much
Yeah.
as as the coaches who are trying to teach you, or the people who are trying to teach you how to work online, become a virtual assistant, become a
Mm.
freelancer, as much as they can provide the templates or the script, most of the time interviews tend to go out of script, right? Diba?
Yes. Yes.
Especially when you
Oh.
get into the inside the door and you already are part of the team, and then
Yeah.
the meeting comes, and then
You
the
really have to talk.
the boss will ask you questions, and then you can barely answer.
Yes. It's not that you don't know what to say. It's just that you
Oh,
can't translate it
oh,
to
you can
English.
translate it, diba?
Yun
So
lang talaga.
that's the
Yeah.
problem there. And then for people who are virtual assistant full time and transitioning to a freelancer, try to be as organized as possible.
Yan.
Like
Ako
the
and si Johnny, we are working on that part.
oh,
So
muna
let's work together.
be as organized as possible, as much as possible, like questionnaires, proposals,
Yeah.
files, organizing,
Of
little things
pricing
like
nimo.
pricing, packages,
Mm.
trying to help people in a way na sayon nila masabtan.
Yeah.
Muna. Mura mong
That's
guna.
the main thing. You can
Mm,
offer the best services, but if they don't
mm.
understand, they won't get
Patay.
it.
Di ba?
They won't get it.
There you go. So, let's go and try to dive deeper when it
Okay.
comes to the, stress and the grind and the grueling part of working online. So, what do you think is like the most stressful part mentally, physically, emotionally,
Mm.
and maybe even spiritually? I'm not sure if we
Okay.
can talk about that, but
Yeah.
yeah, just try to think about it. Organize your thoughts in a way na mentally, this is what you have to expect. The downside or the dark side or
Okay.
then
Yeah.
physically, emotionally,
Okay.
then what do we do about it, diba?
Okay.
What do we do
Sige.
about
Mentally, um, it really messes up with your brain because if you're not the type of person na you really make an effort to talk to other people in person,
it?
if taong bahay ka talaga,
Mm.
because if you work at a 9 to 5 job in an office, which is fine, you get to interact with real life people, see their facial expression, smell their body odor,
The old.
That creates
Yeah.
parang I'm still part of the real world.
Yep. Yep.
But when you start, working online, that if hindi ka pa online, di pa ka online, that becomes it's a natural thing. It happens naturally. But when you start working online, you have to make an effort to
Ayo.
experience that again. You find yourself na mag-grocery, okay, ako na lang mag-grocery. Para lang makasimhot ko unsa pay simhot sa supermarket, unsa pay feeling na you're walking in a public place where you don't know everyone, that those kinds of these are small things, but mag-build up man gud na siya. You become ermitanyo na ka.
Ayo.
You become
Ayo.
an alien to society na misfit na gani ka because you work online. Yeah. Pag-abot mo gid dito, yeah, awkward na nun kag samot because you're not used to talking to real people anymore.
Ayo.
So you really have to make an effort. When it comes to physically naman, yeah, it's just more convenient to not do anything. when you're working online, your health is more prone kay sedentary man atong lifestyle gid. Even if like me right now, I'm sitting on I'm using a standing desk, but it's been
Nice.
months. It's been months since I've put
Stood
it
up.
up, stood up using it. So it's really hard because it's more convenient, no? So and that's something that I personally have to work with physically. So effort gid ka. Because if again comparing it to the regular work setup, you have to commute to the job, drive there, and even walk to the office. That counts as exercise, diba? But here, how many steps do I have to take from my room to my home office? What, 20 steps? And then I'm sitting down. Usahay, sometimes makalimot pag inom tubig.
Na, mo gina. Di na pwede. That's why dapat nagi.
Oo. Makalimot pag inom og
Tiguang na
tubig
rabata.
and so and that's the physical na part that's awful and can go awfully bad when we're doing this. Emotionally then, well, how do I do this? Because your workplace is very close to your bedroom, you're stressed from work. Kay, again, let's compare it to the regular work. When pinagalitan ka sa work, you're stressed. You still have commute time to tone yourself down or like calm yourself down. And when you talk to the wife, you're smiling, you're already like simmered down na. But here, working online, your boss is screaming at you in all caps and emails, and then you just want to rest in the bedroom. Your wife asks you, "What's wrong?" Biglang nasigawan mo yung wife. It's because you didn't have that commute. So you have to have a better emotional fortitude when you're working online. Kasi things can get really bad then. Because of the convenience, walang masyadong, spaces in between emotions. Nakikarry over. Even the kids, you tend to yell at them. Hindi naman sinasadya. It's just that it's easier for situations like that to happen because the distance of your workplace to your home is very close. In fact, it's one. Spiritually, I can't say much about that. Wala akong masyadong ano. But siguro, you tend to work with different types of people. So you get exposed to like people who are into, spiritual stuff, like mga yoga and stuff. And of course, we are a Filipino culture. So medyo merong disconnect. Sometimes you even think that these people are weird. And some of them might think that you are weird for like, because I have like a workmate before online na under the agency na they have to go to church 3 times a week. So for the boss, it was weird for him. They had to do that. So and the spirituality aspect. Pero it's not one too heavy for me because my personality is very open-minded naman. So I don't want to be judged. So I also don't try to judge people.
Yeah.
So,
We try
yun
to.
lang.
Yeah, mentally, I think, yeah, as far as mentally, like you said, masyado tayong malapit sa home. Like,
We
all the
are
work
in
that you
at
do,
home. Yeah.
paglabas mo dyan, parang maki-carry over mo pa yung emotions sa work mo, which, yeah, I really need to work on also. Like, it's really hard. It's really
Feel na
hard,
feel
man.
mo, bro.
Oh,
Relate na relate.
especially if ganyan. Tulad nung, 'di ba, nag-pandemic, na lockdown tayo
Yeah.
lahat. So,
Yeah.
siguro mas marami na nakakaintindi ngayon sa
Yeah.
ganun na
Yeah, actually.
'di ba?
Tama.
And not all people are built the same, and not all brains are wired the same. Some people are more in tune with, let's say the common or the traditional work.
Mm.
You know, they enjoy the commute, they enjoy
Yeah.
the mga ang tawag dito, interaction, the
Mm.
interactions, the conversations, which
Yeah.
is something that I I lack with, or I lack
Mm.
on, like, especially if the person that I'm talking to is a stranger, ganun. Tapos wala pa kaming common, like, at first, ano pa lang, oh, very very different aura,
The
very
walls.
different vibes. Oh, kapoistorya eh. Pero,
Choosy.
di ba? At the same time,
Oh.
pud ba eh, when I get out of the house, I try to be as conversational as many people
Yes.
that I can interact with,
Yeah.
because
Diba?
the circumference of my living, or my activities, is very small.
Yes.
I have my
Yes.
my partner, I have my kids, I have the people that, with my neighbors. Sometimes they think I'm not around, but I'm just here all day sa room, nagkukulong. So,
Nagkukulong. Anong trabaho mo?
anong trabaho mo?
Cyber siguro yan.
So, ganun. So, mentally, it's very draining. Like, our work is very mentally draining. The physical part is just, it's there, but mentally, it's really challenging.
That's
Diba?
bigger effort.
It's like mura kag gikulong ba? Mura kag
Yeah.
you're just in this, di ba? How many feet
Yeah.
meters is your room, and you're becoming very, di ba?
And you have
So,
access to everything that you need to function.
mm,
So you don't really have to go out, di ba?
Muna.
Parang, oo.
If wala invites sa mga amigo, bahala mo da. Dili na day ko. Palit day kog beer. Palit day kog beer dili na lang ko. Di ba? Ana mo. So, and then physically, I guess, yun na nga, exercise, and yung mga ano natin, minsan hindi na tayo nakakapagupit. 'Di ba? Wala na.
Ako, I have to kasi because of my every
ayan na
2
nga.
weeks nagpapagupit.
Every 2 weeks. Hindi
Nakoy
na
suki manggod nga
ahit.
barbero nga.
Wala na. Baga na kay bangas. Wala na admitan nyo. Ano ba? So, nga na ba?
Yeah.
And then, exercise, syempre, importante man na sa itong kuan. We have to at least make an effort na sington punta. Kaya di man, lisod man kaayo way singot-singot ba? Mo ginaang akong
di ba ang mga kaning mga freelance na VA mahilason mo pa aircon mo gud sila
aircon ba?
kwarto.
Aircon.
Tinanon panington.
Pero sana physical activities gid ba? Like, I'm lucky enough to have friends na who are really active, like people who
madamay
are
ka ba?
madamay ka ba, like makayon ka nga ADHD man siguro ni sila nga, pero dili good. ano lang good sila, like they're more in tune with the physical world, like activities,
but
moving.
sometimes it's just natural for them, no? Murag di ko sila himutang, no?
Di
I wish I was that way.
Yeah. Like they wake up every day at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. and try to do something really productive physically, whether it is washing their cars, cleaning the floors. Like, I don't know. Some people are like that, but some people are not. Diba? They have 3 sports. They have 3 sports they do: surfing, skateboarding, ping pong, basketball. Wala. Kaya kita kay nagpalanay radias balay daw, sakit na kayong lubot ba? Di ba? And
Ayun
then,
niya. Okay ra pud ba murag enjoy ra pud siya sa ato so like kung di ka
oh,
mag-effort ba
oh.
again
You have
hubag
your
gid mo
guitars
happy.
naman, di ba? Di ba?
Wala mga gitara tugtog.
Diba?
But
Creativity is something na ano po, importante po. Like you exercise your creativity and your
yeah.
artistic nature, diba?
Tama,
So
tama, tama.
those are things na we have to do. And then emotionally, I guess that all boils down to your, sa imong self na. Like,
Yeah.
diba?
It's a personal thing.
Yeah, personal ano na, like your background, the environment that you were brought up in, di ba? Muna siyang mga factors na we need to assess and sometimes would affect our work. Yeah. Spiritually, bahala na. Kung say, bahala na mo diya. Bahala na mo diya kung saan yung gusto.
Basta kay
Diba?
okay ra ta.
Oh, okay ra ta. We can discuss it. I mean, I can discuss
Okay
it
ra
with
ko nga
you.
okay ra ka.
Diba? Basta kung happy ka na, okay. But if you want to discuss it, then be ready for the unfiltered truth that I can offer you. At least the truth in my mind, diba? In my mind lang, the truth in my
At the
mind.
very least,
Subjective
it's
truth.
nice by that
Sa
there is self-awareness of like it's subjective.
And it's one of
Understanding
the
that
most
things
it's one of my favorite things to discuss with my friends who are open to the idea.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
na topic.
Diba? We have
Pero
lots
pag
of friends who are
emotionally mong
atheists.
kastorya lisod. Lisod.
We have
Pag
lots of friends who
emotionally
are
mong friends
atheists.
lisod.
Lisod kayo. And if very defensive sila sa ilahang, di ba, religion,
Very, very
then
hard.
it's something na lisod. Anyways.
Ay, hot topic ito. Next.
So now that we all see online and freelancing coaches coming up like mushrooms everywhere.
Yeah.
Like you see it after the pandemic, like everyone's becoming a coach. Whether it's someone who's really trying to help people or just are in it for the money. I mean, it's it's a reality na it's here in the Philippines now.
Yes.
And because we're really a small country compared to the US, and we're a third world country, the laws here tend to lag, in terms of online.
Yeah.
And the entire spectrum na we're working
delayed
in. Record na to record. Samo. A little backstory lang. I forgot to to hit the record button and to think that's part of my the part of my channel's intro video. Nako, that's why you're wearing a different clothes.
Yeah, I'm different.
Clothes. You're wearing
Wala na,
different
different
clothes.
shirt na ni.
Different shirt. But I'm wearing the same
Nilabhan na.
shirt para dili malibog akong audience ba nga is this another episode or whatever, So this is just a continuation because I forgot to hit the record button. Anyways, bye. Thank you for I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for
No problem. Anyway, one of the other reasons na it could have been longer last time is nag-ulan.
Ay, oh.
So, nagtulo na ako opisina.
Nag-start ng indoor waterfalls diya.
Yes, medyo 7 Seas na diri gahapon. Hello last time.
Pero may gani maka-work pag yapon ka diya ba bisag nag-ulan.
So this office is a time bomb right now. I have 4 blue lights. The first one near the door is already busted, so water is falling from that, and then the other one. So only time will tell when it will start falling from here and here. But I will get it fixed soon. It's a big job, manggod.
Yeah.
Kuan siya kanang ngita na pagkuglain place siguro sa kwarto ba.
Re-roofing. Pila ka na
It's a
ka how
re-roofing
many
job. Di madala og kuan. Di madala og elastosil.
Sige. Oh, well. Sige lang. Basta kay maka-work pag yapon ka muna na siyang kuan.
Diba? Mora na dia.
Yep.
Na magdaon.
So, let's just continue with our conversation na lang.
Yes.
Well, I was in the last, I guess, couple of questions that I wanted to ask you, and then we'll transition to, trying to invite people to your workshop, the next workshop that you're gonna schedule,
Okay.
because I'm sure there's gonna be another one, because the second one was twice the size of the first one that I was in. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's really
Yeah.
good
Okay.
news. Yeah.
Sige.
So what do you think is the best way to genuinely improve your value as a virtual assistant, online service provider,
Mm.
freelancer, and have a fruitful and lasting career out of it? Like, how many years have you been in the industry? 8, 9?
8 years,
8 years, yeah.
going 9 years.
Yeah, I've been almost 13 years. This July, I think, I got my first ever paycheck for $50 for
Yeah,
my
yeah.
first
Oh,
work.
congratulations.
So that was really something that I always remember. And so what characteristics, part of the character of, the person who wants to start working online, and what
Yeah.
should they prepare for, I guess, emotionally,
Yan.
just to make sure that they're ready for,
Sige.
yeah.
Okay. If you're starting with trying to start with freelancing or online freelancing, whether you're a VA or whatever specialized skill, two things that are important that you should have, and it's medyo lumang tugtugi na pero proven and tested mong good siya.
Mm-mm.
Like number one is you have to be highly trainable. That's the best skill that you can have. Because when you're doing freelancing, I started out as a graphic designer, but now I am a Facebook ad specialist. So when I started out, I don't even know what a Facebook ad specialist is,
Mm.
what he
Mm.
does, or do they get paid, or is that an important role. But I think trainability, it's a skill actually, to not only to know what to say when the client asks for specific task, but to actually learn it. And it doesn't mean, hindi naman ibig sabihin na you really like are a student na taking notes and everything. It's just that when you're doing things in behalf of your client, because that's what we do, they outsource tasks to us. We also try to understand why are we doing this, because it builds up through the years. And when you are trainable, any skill can be learned actually. Now, when you reach that point, when you realize that any skill can be learned, you get to a point now where you can choose what skill. So it doesn't matter if you graduated as a nurse or you didn't graduate at all. The moment that you realize that any skill can be learned, then your options are limitless actually as a freelancer. And the second ability or characteristic that I would recommend that you practice. Kasi di mo na siya natural good.
Mm.
Ang
Mm.
characteristics can be learned. It can be practiced daily hantod sa it becomes natural. So, second one would be communication. That's the
Yeah.
key. I would like to set an
Yeah.
example like sa
Yeah.
akong wife, no? She is now doing online work
Mm.
part-time. She is a project manager for
Nice.
wellness coaches
Uy,
actually,
same
and
name,
then
wellness.
wellness,
Go.
ang mga yoga, mga inana. But
Mm.
what happened was she was worried. She told me, I'm worried because I feel like one of the decision makers are slacking off.
Mm.
She's just reading my emails and my messages, but she's not actually replying. And I'm not sure whether she is still on top of everything, but the other
Mm.
decision maker is doing her job. So
Mm.
what I told her is this: I know what you feel. You feel like you might get fired if you raise that point,
Mm.
but just try it, because in my point of view, they will appreciate the fact that you're on top of it, that you're actually worried for their business. And
Mm.
that's one of the reasons they hire us. They don't want to worry so much. That's why they hire you. So
Mm.
that you can worry in behalf of
Mm.
them. Diba?
Mm.
So what she did, she typed a message and then proofread it for her. And then I noticed na medyo na ay Filipino vibes na like
Mm.
um, they're afraid to offend people.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I just told her na remove this because you
Mm.
sound like you are willing to do their work for them.
Mm.
So just
Mm.
remove that, be
Mm.
honest. And then
Mm.
the next day, everyone was like on their seats, and ano sila, they appreciated that
Mm.
early on. That the my wife, no, the person who
Mm.
sent that email, the Filipino VA,
Mm.
was really on top and serious about the job. So communication is key talaga. Because habit na to mga Pinoy, makita tag problem sa workplace, chikahan na lang pag inom pero when the work is happening, walay mag-raise up. It's afraid. So when you're an online VA, the only communication that you have with your client is through the video calls and the email. So walay touch na mga anak bitaw, walay ka ng other social cues ba. So the best thing that you could do is really be honest with your words. And of course with good intentions, diba? So number 1 is to be trainable, number 2 is to really communicate. Break na yung mga social norms sa Pinoy na style of workplace.
Because it's very different. Like ang atong environment sa atong ginalihukan as online workers is totally very different, almost a contrast from what traditional or in the office is what's happening. And trainability, like willingness to learn. I think the most difficult part of that is just starting to dive into what you want to learn. The first step, like I want to do it. I have other things that I can do that I already know. But, when it comes to technology, especially sa technology, you need to really adapt and learn lots of, technologies that involves within the revolution of what's happening within your space or within your responsibilities. That's what I've observed sa Amopod. Like the moment AI came out and I was doing it, you were also doing it. I was like, all right, let's do it. I have someone who can relate sa diba? What's the first AI, by the way, that you tried? Was it ChatGPT or Midjourney?
Actually, I used Jasper AI pa before.
Jasper AI. I never
for
used
copywriting.
that.
Before pa nisikat ang OpenAI, there were already AI writing tools. So by then, but I was not so impressed with Jasper AI kay very heavy with the edits paghapon. But when pagsulod sa ChatGPT 3 pa, wala pa 3.5, then I went in already and try to jailbreak the thing. How do we remove the restrictions?
Trying to break the software and prove na our brain is still much better, like exponentially better than the computer.
It is, by the way.
Kayo. That's what I've observed also when it comes to these content writing AI platforms, which evolved into, like, when I discovered that, one of my programmer friends told me that, hey, ChatGPT is really good in programming. I was like, what? Aren't you worried? Let me try that. So na mga certain problems sa WordPress or additional na mga features sa WordPress na dili siya native. So I was like, let's try it. So I prompted here's the problem sa WordPress. Can you help me out? I'm not a programmer. Can you give me some snippets? Bang! It gave me a snippet. I pasted it sa functions file ng WordPress. And I was like, napa may gamay nga bug or error. So I copied the error. What you gave me is good, but it's not working. This is the error. So binigyan na naman hanggang sa na solve yung ano. So I was like, wow. So okay. I guess because it's a machine learning software or language or whatever it is, when it's built on machine learning. I believe that the first thing that it will master or it will be useful for is logic based na mga So
logic based. Creative, it will give you a little bit of direction, but pag logic, even right now I'm making a contract assisted AI assisted. It's faster.
Yep. Di na to kailangan maguna-una pa when it comes to the, I guess, ang kanang mga things rules, or parts sa atong copy nga kanang balik-balik ra ba or di ba na basta kanang mga templatized na or anything that di ba.
So even before AI, we've been using templates. So just treat it that way. It's just like a tool that makes it faster. Because the way I look at tools, is this way. If I do it manually, it's gonna take me longer, and I'm still gonna come up with the same thing.
Yep.
For those kind of tasks, you can use tools.
And we can edit it, di ba? Pag medyo OCD ka,
add personality,
ganun.
Add Bisaya words, Tagalog words.
And I guess one of the things that I really want to, aside from communication, like I'm a very avid trying to put it out there na communication is the key. Like even if all these coaches are saying na, well, you don't need to be good in English. You just have to use the script, this template, whatever. Everyone's trying to do that. Like, come on, guys, enroll in my course kay sayo na mahimog freelancer.
Yeah.
And then
So simple.
the moment that you land a job, okay, let's say they land a job because of your what you provided for them. But when you start attending meetings and then you barely say things, so that going back to communication, and then consistency, just be
Yeah.
consistent, which everyone needs to work on, including me,
Everyone struggles
including
with.
consistency and just being uh you know being yourself, like although being yourself, but in a way, if you find something that you need to learn or to grow more as a person, or as career wise, you have to do that. And I guess more man siguro na, like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's the
Wala siya
best
ang murag
way.
baseline
Mm,
requirements
mm,
if you want to
mm.
flourish in this
Yeah, yeah, and
world
you
now.
gotta have also the passion for it,
Yeah.
because that's the main reason that I've lasted this long, and I'm sure that's how you lasted this long.
Yeah.
And
If I just
trying
look at the bad clients that I work with, okay na
mm,
ko ni undang bay.
mao kayo
It's just
kayo ba.
that my mindset is always, I think this new prospect or this new project is going to be another case study
Mm,
that is successful,
mm,
that I can
mm,
share again, and
mm,
share with the students,
mm,
and share with the people that follow and listen to
mm,
me. So mona akong mindset, that's why I'm so passionate. It's because I'm always trying to look for that kind of breakthrough bitaw na uy
mm,
na napugmi bago tapos ako
mm,
yung una makashare, it
mm,
feels good.
mm,
So I'm
mm,
passionate about those kind
mm.
of things.
That's good. That's good. All right. The next one is, I guess, about when it comes to skills na, yung mga core skills na pwede nila ma-learn
Mm.
before they start looking for work. Like like me and like you, we started as graphic designers. So that's something na, like, the most common thing that they can learn, or the most easiest thing, especially with Canva. 'Di ba?
Yes.
When Canva exploded, I was like, whoa, this is gonna change things. Like, people are going to start to understand how they can use this tool
Mm.
as a baseline to get jobs, because
Yeah.
it made it a lot easier. Diba? Remember sa Photoshop,
Bye
you
bye.
have to do it even with templates. Like, you have to really move things
Pa
around, and
PSD.
diba? Oh, and yeah, with Canva, it's just really
Yeah.
having the foundations or the fundamentals of design. If you
Mm.
have that, contrast, spacing,
Yeah.
typography, and of
Mm-mm.
course branding. You need I'm very I try to tell people na you need to understand at least the basic or the most simplest explanation of what branding is. So
Yeah.
there's the saying from Marty Neumeyer,
Mm.
branding is the gut feel, you know,
Yeah.
gut feeling of the people you are trying to serve, or the gut feel of your audience towards
Yeah.
your product, services, and your persona, or your brand.
True.
Yeah, so that's
Uh,
what's, and I completely agree with that. Yeah, so Monto, so what do you think are the other skills that they should learn
oh,
before they start diving into trying to get a job online?
yeah. Skills when you're trying to get a job online, ang pinaka simple man good to get into is VA man good,
Mm,
because
mm,
it doesn't require you to have a lot of skills. It's
mm.
just you just need to be
Email.
trainable.
Mm,
Just need to be trainable. That's
mm,
the key. So
mm.
for other skills that you would be learning, of course, what man?
Do you think Facebook ad
Okay. Yeah,
marketing is
those
something
types
that
of things.
they could join? Let's say I want to learn, like, I'm very interested in Facebook. Like,
Mm,
I've tried running ads for my
mm,
own, like,
mm.
if if that person has a friend who has a business, and they kind of, I volunteered to run ads, just boosting and all the basic, the small steps that would allow them to just see data or whatever, and then they enrolled sa imong workshop. Do you think
Right.
that's a big deal na they can, they can apply what you've taught them sa workshop, and increase their chances of getting a, job online
Yeah.
as in
Okay.
starting point?
That. I thank you for, detailing the question even better.
Mm,
So
mm,
skill-wise, Facebook ads, to be honest with you, it's very easy. It's very easy in the sense that it's easy to understand why people do it.
mhm,
So
mhm,
I think Facebook ads is still going to be, a good offer to give out because there are a lot of business owners. In fact, like you said,
yep,
friends. Your friends have businesses.
mhm,
Now, if you're trying to learn these skills, for example, you enrolled in someone's workshop or my
mhm,
workshop, or you saw a video on YouTube, the only way really for you to test that is to put it in action. So you can test it out with your friends. Like,
yeah,
be honest with them. I'm trying to do freelance, and I want to see if I've learned some things from this workshop or from this course or YouTube video, and I want to help you with your business now. But you have to pay for the ad budget,
mm,
and the thing is, what's in it for me is I get to practice my skill. What's in it for you is at no cost. We will run ads for your business.
mm,
So that I think is something that makes Facebook advertising easy as a skill to learn. It's because you can give out free offers to your friends or to businesses. Comparing it with other skills, like for example, video editing or email copywriting, especially pag Filipino,
mm,
it's because not a lot of local businesses have email strategies at the
yeah,
moment. So
yeah,
one of the low hanging offers that they usually would be willing to take is Facebook advertising. So
yeah,
that's one of the things it's a good skill to start with when it comes to freelancing.
mhm,
And also you get to practice other skills like your graphic design, because you'll
yeah,
be creating graphics,
yeah,
your video
yeah,
design, your copywriting. So it's good. Basically, parang ano siya, mura siya, all-in-one training ground.
mm,
Oo.
mhm,
So,
mhm.
but then when you start charging money, then by that time you should have results already. Like,
Ah,
because
even small
some
results, 'di ba? Kaya
yeah,
kahit
even
na
small
yung
wins,
konti
like
lang, 'di ba?
from, let's just say, in 3 months we were able to raise their page likes from 1,000 to 5,000
Mm,
local, like in the area. So that's already good results. And
yeah,
some businesses, that's the
mm,
kind of results that they want.
mhm,
No,
mhm,
and because there are people that teach na you don't need a portfolio to start closing clients, and that can be done.
mm,
But it's like having a diploma, diba? You don't need a
mhm,
diploma to succeed, but if you have it, it's an advantage, diba?
yeah,
You don't
yeah,
have to spin the conversation to move it
mhm,
away from talking about the portfolio, because you
mhm,
actually
mhm,
have one. And to
mhm.
have a portfolio, then you just have to do a free service. That's it.
Yeah, yeah,
Arting
yeah.
pa man said.
Yeah, and that's another subject na pwede na to i-tackle, but not now,
Yeah,
I guess.
portfolio, diba?
Portfolio by, like, yeah, when I started out, it really helped me. Like having my own website, having my own Facebook page, having my own, case studies, and that's what I saw sa Imopod, like with Reso
Yeah.
marketing, with, yeah, he's everywhere. Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Diba? So,
Kulang na lang sa Spotify mo gawas mo.
mm. So, yeah, yeah, mo bitaw. And we're getting there, right?
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
getting
sure,
there.
sure.
And so I guess that we're gonna end this podcast with you trying to gonna invite people. Where can they find you? Where can
Oh, this is the
they?
last question?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
Okay,
yeah.
sige. All right.
So, yeah, invite
So
them.
to everyone who's listening, I hope na-enjoy ninyo ang content. You enjoy the content and something na sparked in your mind. Hopefully, wala mo na intimidate og samot getting into the freelance world or the
Yeah.
online freelancing world.
Mm.
Especially if you are transitioning from a job or something. Just try it. Just do it. Now, right now, I'm getting back to teaching Facebook advertising as a skill. No, so the kind of people that I teach are the business owners, like pizza store owners, different types of businesses. As long as you're in the business of, you have to deal with human customers, and chances are these humans have a Facebook account. So you want to target them to pull them into your business to get yourself noticed or your offer noticed. That is what I do. And in CDO, we have done 2 batches already. This is a new course combining Facebook ads with artificial intelligence or AI or ChatGPT. We will teach you how my process is actually. So just a quick trivia pala. Sorry for breaking the offer.
No worries.
All the ads that I do right now, touched by AI lahat. So,
Nice.
wala na ko'y pure na ads nga purely
Mm.
from my brain. As much as possible, I want to take myself out of the picture and let the business run itself. But what we do is we teach the exact process, the exact prompts that we use to create Facebook ads using AI. And if you want to register, we will be doing workshops all around the Philippines. I think this September we will be in Davao.
Nice.
This July we will be launching the online version of the same day ad execution workshop. So if you live far from CDO, you can't travel. I do suggest that you register to that. And if you want to get notified, you can check my profile on Facebook. I will pin the link to the wait list for the online version of SDAE. And in August, we will be doing the 3rd batch of the same day ads execution workshop in Cagayan de Oro. So this July is online, August will be in CDO, then September, Davao. So we're
I'm gonna
also
put
thinking
your links on the YouTube and Facebook.
All right. So the links will be in the description of this
in the
video.
description.
So,
So it'll be easier for them. Yeah.
All
So
right.
one last
So
thing,
yun
Bay.
lang.
One last thing na lang,
One
Dayan.
last thing, go.
Yeah. I know you already answered this atong failed 3rd Zoom call. What do you think does it mean to be an outlaw geek in our...
Wow. So I consider myself as an outlaw geek actually. And because I'm not the type of person who really tries to go with the bandwagon. When people, in fact, I intentionally avoid going with the masses. And yes, with tech, my definition of geek is not negative. It's someone who is super technical and passionate about a specific subject, whether it be in tech, whether it be in arts,
whatever.
Yeah, whatever. As long as you're technical and passionate and you buy books about that subject or you even write your own notes about the subject, consider yourself a geek. And I am an outlaw geek because we are the misfits, the freelancers are the misfits of society, and we don't really we are still the minority in the economy. So yeah, I'm an outlaw geek like you, my friend.
Yeah, man, my friend. Bro, it's been awesome. It's been an honor to be, for you to be the first one in this podcast. And hopefully people will learn from this and, get some things. And we have lots of friends who are geeks, even, mga martial artists na grabe ka passionate sa ilahang work by na dayon mo mas napagid sila yung mga other interests na very different from martial arts itself, diba? So those are geeks. Those are literally
these
geeks.
These are the crazy ones.
Yeah, diba? Anyways, bro, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And
thanks, bye.
See you around. See you around.
Yeah.
Good luck sa third ni mo na workshop. Hopefully 500 people. 420 people. Bro.
Buyag.
Thanks, man. Thanks for
Bye.
doing
Thank
this.
you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.